My name is Rohit Bhargava, and I'm the founder of the Nonobvious company. So my personal brand came from my desire to just write about ideas and share them. For me, the brand was me. And that actually ended up benefiting me quite a bit, because when I eventually then decided to leave in 2014 to become an entrepreneur and since then start a couple companies, people knew me. And they didn't know me as the guy who worked for something. They knew me as me. And that was a pretty powerful place for me to be able to start from. There was a time when people thought that a personal brand was kind of a dirty word. It was like something that only egotistical people talked about. And what we forgot was that it's kind of the same thing as a reputation. And your personal brand is what people know about you before you walk in a room. That's what your reputation is. And it's a much better place to be if somebody knows something about you, hopefully positive, before you walk into the room, because then you don't have to spend that time saying, oh, who are you? What do you do? Why should I believe you? Why should I care? It's much better to not have to spend all the time doing that, because then you can just talk about the things that you actually want to talk about instead. First thing any brand strategist will tell you is that a brand has to be consistent. And we don't tend to think about consistency when we put ourselves out there. We kind of do something in one place, we do something somewhere else, and they don't really connect with one another. And so one of the things I think about when I think about my personal brand, especially when it comes to online, is what's home base for me. And for me, it's my website. That's where somebody can see everything. But then they might come in through my blog, they might come in through Twitter, and I can inject different personalities in different places. Putting the pieces together and telling a story about, like, who are you and what do you do and why do you do it and where do you talk about it is a really interesting thing. And part of it also was finding some maturity in how I used social media. So the Nonobvious book is all about how to spot patterns that other people don't spot and see around the corner towards the future. So the book kind of makes a bold promise, which is that anybody can learn how to predict the future. None of us can really predict something that's gonna happen that has no basis in now. But a lot of us can teach ourselves how to see the patterns and say, you know what, more people are going to be investing in this one technology, and it's going to start changing our behavior. And the more we can do that, the more we can start to get better at seeing around the corner. And so from a startup founder point of view, being able to portray that idea that you are right on top of a trend that is about to explode is a beautiful thing to be able to say to an investor, to a customer, to anyone, because who doesn't want to be at the top of that ride about to take off? But usually you want to show momentum, and I think talking about the future is a great way to show momentum. Keeping it weird is an awesome theme for here in Austin, and for me, like, keeping it weird means being able to get on someone's level. So with my kids, for example, I can be a kid with them. I mean, I'm still a dad, but I don't have to challenge them to be something that they're not, and I can appreciate where they are and what they're doing and how they are. And for me, like, that's such a powerful thing, because really what it comes down to is empathy. And I think that it's really easy in the world today to have no empathy for people who are unlike us, who don't think like us, and instead dismiss them all as stupid morons or idiots. And I think that we have to get outside of that. And so I spend a lot of time trying to do that by talking to people. I buy random magazines that are not targeted to me, like Modern Farmer and, you know, all kinds of stuff like that. I am not, surprisingly enough, a modern farmer, but I buy that because I want to get outside of my world and I want to try and step into someone else's shoes.